Support for Outdoor Nevada comes from Land Rover Las Vegas and Jaguar Land Rover Reno, proud to help introduce a new generation of adventurers to the diverse experiences that our state has to offer. Information at lrlv.com or jlrreno.com.
Nevada, a landscape as diverse as it is epic, where wide open nature and wild adventure call to the curious and the brave alike.
This car is actually the story of America.
It's all aboard for a unique glimpse into the past at the Nevada Northern Railway in Ely.
It's so beautiful out here. It's like the land that time forgot.
I'm exploring the picturesque Colorado River on a raft boat.
It's a big Mojave, but every little step counts and you gotta start somewhere.
I'm with a group of volunteers preserving the desert for future generations.
You know, it's a good climb up to here.
Yeah, you gotta earn it.
You gotta earn it.
And I'm mountain biking on the Nevada side of Lake Tahoe.
What a rush!
I'm John Burke. I have a passion for the outdoors.
Today we're in the Valley of Fire.
And I'm on a mission to show you the one-of-a-kind history, science, nature, and adventure you find when you step outside. This is Outdoor Nevada. In an ever-changing world, some things remain the same. And the Steptoe Valley Flyer remains tied to the American West and Nevada's history.
Mark, John, how are you?
I'm great. How are you, sir?
Terrific. Welcome to the Nevada Northern Railway.
Well, thank you. What a pleasure to be here. This is not a replica. This is the real deal, isn't it?
This is the real deal. We've been operating trains here since 1906.
This is Mark Bassett, Executive Director of the Nevada Northern Railway National Historic Landmark in Ely.
How old is this particular train?
This particular car was built in 1882 for the Pullman Company to haul immigrants across the country, and then the Nevada Northern Railway bought it used when it started.
And it hauled a bunch of people, didn't it?
If these walls could talk, we got 4.5 million stories here. This car is actually the story of America. The copper mine comes to town. There's only 200 people living here, so they need people. So they send out recruiting notices around the world, and they start heading south to Ely to begin their new life in America.
The steam-powered Steptoe Valley Flyer ran from 1906 to 1941, carrying over 4.5 million passengers from Ely to White Pine County. Today, it still departs from the original depot.
Now, Mark, I look over your shoulder and I see the word women. I don't see the word men.
Well, that's because, John, we're in the women's and children's section of the car. The beautiful red velvet seats here. This is where the women and children rode. The men rode in the other section.
I think I know why. I see a sign that says no smoking. I see where you're going with this. Can we go check it out?
Absolutely.
Oh, no, wait a minute. This looks different in here.
Yes, this is the men's section. And here is the hint. There's a striker plate.
You got the smoke in here.
You got the smoke in here, the leather seats, and this was just the way to ride.
This train served meals, carried a luggage car, and operated a U.S. post office that occasionally still delivers mail.
Hey!
There she is!
That's it?
That is it. That is Locomotive 40, the official state locomotive of the great state of Nevada.
It's a great place to take kids.
It's a great place to take kids, and we got a big one right here.
Let's go.
Let's go down there.
Wow, she's awesome.
She is just grand, just grand. She was delivered here in July of 1910, and she's still doing today what her designers and builders intended over a century ago. She's still hauling trains.
And that's full of coal?
That's full of coal and water. And because the coal is for the fire, we need the water for the steam. You can see the steam leaking out in places. Without that steam, we don't go anywhere.
How much does she weigh?
She weighs about 60 tons. She's kind of a light locomotive, but I think she's one of the most beautiful locomotives left on the planet.
There is no doubt. There is no doubt. Now, there is one thing different about this scene, right? Mm-hmm. What is it?
Well, actually, we're lost in time. That's 19th century technology. The locomotive was delivered in the 20th century, and for the 21st century, we have a woman fireman. So pick a century. That is Angie, and she is a qualified fireman and engineer, but she got the firing straw today.
You belong up there. You look good. This is incredible. This is incredible. That's the coal right up there?
That's the coal right up there, and that's our next stop. Let's go up.
This iron horse runs the same as it did in its heyday. It still requires water and coal to generate power.
This is so awesome. This is great. So here's the coal.
There's
is this
the
also
coal.
where the water is as well?
Correct.
All right.
We got 6,000 gallons of water, about 8 tons of coal.
All right.
And then this is how we get the coal into there.
All right, so can I do it?
Yep, go ahead, grab some coal.
How hot is that?
You don't want to know yet.
All right. How's that
All
look?
right,
Good?
That's good.
All right.
Step on that pedal there.
Right here?
Yep. And throw it in.
Awesome. Woo-hoo! That feels good. I've been working on the railroad, baby.
Yep.
In the early 1900s, the demand for copper used in electric and telephone wiring gave birth to the mining industry in Ely, which needed a train to haul the ore.
The railroad was not laid down by Chinese immigrants.
No, it was built by Italian and Irish immigrants.
How many miles of track are there here?
The entire railroad is about 160 miles of track, and we operate on 30 miles of track. Our long-term plan is to open it up for the copper mine again and haul copper concentrate out.
Now that's cool. Now you're really going old school. What is it you love about this?
Everything. This goes to a time in our country when there was a can-doism. We built this across the entire country. You know, they overcame all odds. When the railroad came to town here, there's only 200 people living here. They're going to build a copper mine, a mill, and a smelter. It was just utterly phenomenal, and they did it.
While it may seem fun, driving the trains could be strenuous and sometimes dangerous.
What I find fascinating is that these jobs were more than just sitting in a chair pulling levers and just kind of looking at dials. This gets very hot. Anything here is around 350 degrees. So you can imagine pulling into Las Vegas in the middle of the summer, how hot that would be. And this thing is like a bomb. If you go off the track, you hit a herd of deer. So it's very dangerous as well.
I'm about to see it for myself on the driver's seat. Henry Stewart is my teacher for the day.
That's a wimpy thing.
Let the world know you're coming.
All right, all right.
You gotta know you're coming, you know?
All right, can I do it again?
Yeah.
How many? Two.
There you go.
It's time to get underway.
Look at how you're going.
Hey, we're moving. I don't even have a seatbelt.
Soon we're up to speed, 15 miles per hour.
Not only does it feel like I'm driving a dinosaur, but I'm looking out at the countryside. I even got an armrest. It's the coolest thing ever. All right.
The Steptoe Valley Flyer slows down to a complete stop and soon is back in Henry's capable hands.
For over 100 years, this train has been in operation. And over its long career, it's moved everything from people to mail to furniture to animals. And it's still operating today and keeping people happy.
One of the greatest American rivers, the Colorado, is a vital waterway rich in both beauty and history. Today, I'm exploring this mighty river on a raft boat. Some great places in Nevada are off the beaten path. Others are way out there in the open for everybody to see them. But it still behooves you to take a closer look. And that's exactly what we're doing today. Our adventure begins at the Hoover Dam in the Black Canyon, right on the state line between Nevada and Arizona.
Slade!
John, how you doing?
I'm great. How you doing?
Good, good. Good to meet you.
What a beautiful day.
Isn't it great out here, man?
Is this your office?
This is my office.
Meet my raft pilot, Slade Griffin.
Can I come on your boat?
Ah, come on aboard, man. Come on aboard.
Let's have some fun. So how'd you get into this?
Well, it's kind of different. I retired after 30 years doing police work. Stayed at home for a couple months, and I said, man, I can't do this. So we knew a guy who was in charge of transportation for Black Canyon Willow Adventure. He goes, hey, why don't you go and be a raft pilot? They're looking for raft pilots. And my first question was, what in the world's a raft pilot? So I came down here, talked to a couple people, and next thing I know, here I am.
And now I'm here too, ready for our cruise along the Colorado River where the Hoover Dam looms large.
It's breathtaking, man. Tell me about it.
About 1928, President Calvin Coolidge signed what he called the Boulder Canyon Project and said, guys, go ahead and go down to Black Canyon area and start building your dam.
So it was Coolidge who really got this whole thing going.
Actually, yeah, President Calvin Coolidge is the one who signed the agreement to build the dam.
Why isn't it the Coolidge Dam? Who's Hoover?
After President Calvin Coolidge got out of office, President Hoover took over, and he was the president during the building of the dam itself.
It's always the last guy.
I know, it's always the last
It's
guy.
never the guy that takes the beach.
The dam's 3.25 million yards of concrete are nestled within the Black Canyon's walls.
How deep is this water here?
It's anywhere from 35 to 65 feet at places.
And how cold is it?
Right now, it's probably about 54 degrees.
Water brings life, so who is this bringing life to? What areas?
California mainly. It would bring actually water for irrigation projects, about 1.25 million acres of farmland in California, United States, and Mexico. So
Here, this is available to the public. They can come out here and do what you and I are doing?
they can come out here only if they use our company. We're the only one allowed down in this secured area. However, just down a little ways, there's a place called Gold Strike Canyon. You can actually walk down there for about an hour, hour and a half if you want to carry a kayak or canoe and come down there on your own.
So how many miles of shoreline are we talking about here?
Probably 100 or so. This is supposed to go all the way down to the ocean itself,
So we could go forever.
forever.
As we move along the river, Slade points out interesting features I might have otherwise missed.
That's actually what we call the rain cave. The water there is actually started from rain itself that falls. Goes down below the river here, meets hot rock and lava, comes back up as steam.
The Black Canyon dates back 15 million years, and it gets its name from the black volcanic rocks around the area.
The water is so clear, I can see the trout running. It's so beautiful out here. It's like the land that time forgot.
Many fish species make their home along the Colorado River.
You, of course, need a fishing license, right?
You need an Arizona and Nevada fishing license.
You need
Once
both.
we're in the middle of the river, all the way down, the left-hand side over here is Arizona and the right side is Nevada. So it depends on where you catch your fish. Yeah, you need that license for it.
You got to check where the fish
Yeah,
is from.
that's it.
Wow, what's that, Slade?
John, what you're looking at is one of our great phenomenals around here. That's what they call the ear. They call it the ear because it looks like the inside of an ear canal, basically. So what you look at, kind of like orange stuff and brown stuff, that's a fungus. Well, fungus tied with the hot water coming through there, actually the bacteria eats through the canyon wall. They say this portion here took about 800 to 1,200 years before it ate through like that, making it what it is today, which is the ear canal.
As our journey continues, we come upon a relic from the past, a cart hanging high on a cable.
They put in this cable because when they built the gauge station on the right and the house on the left, they couldn't give them a boat to come down here because the river is still so violent. So they put this cable up here with the pull cart in it. And when one of the guys went to work, he'd have to walk on a trail that was actually dug out on the left side, the Arizona side, and jump in that pull cart on the other side, pull himself all the way over to the gauge station, and jump off on top, go down and do a 6 hours of work down there.
It's nearly time to wrap up this tour when a bighorn sheep appears, reminding us of all the majesty of this canyon.
I got to tell you, Slade, come and just check out the Hoover Dam. It's obviously awesome and beautiful, but the idea that there's so much going on here, there's a lot happening here, isn't there?
There's a lot happening here, a lot of stuff to see.
Yeah.
This is just a fraction of it, what you guys saw, so.
You're the man, Slade. Thank you so much
Thank
for
you,
showing
John.
me around
Appreciate
today.
you
I
coming
really
out.
had a ball. See, that's the interesting thing about the state of Nevada. It gives you everything that you're asking for, but if you try just a little bit, it gives you a whole lot more.
Nature in Nevada can be beautiful, harsh, and fragile all at the same time. Such is the case in the Mojave Desert, where a group of volunteers is working to repair damaged ecosystems. We're meeting up with some trailblazing do-gooders. These are really outdoor Nevadans after my own heart. They're going to camp here tonight. In the morning, we're going to get up and do some trail repair, fix some trails that have been damaged intentionally or not by other people. And they want to get to them quick before other people come through thinking that's the way to go. And by the way, these are all volunteers. They do it on their own time, on their own dime. The Pahranagat National Wildlife Refuge is 2 hours north of Las Vegas. It attracts nature lovers and people with off-road recreational vehicles.
Hey, Jose, nice to see you.
Hey, John, how you doing?
Good, good. Beautiful night, huh?
Yes, beautiful southwestern sunset.
Meet Jose Witt, the Southern Nevada manager for Friends of Nevada Wilderness.
Hey, tell me about Friends of Nevada Wilderness. Who are you guys?
So Friends of Nevada Wilderness is a statewide nonprofit organization. We promote wilderness protection through stewardship, advocacy, and education. So in stewardship, we recruit volunteers.
So who came to join you this time?
We have a large group, mostly University of Nevada, Las Vegas students, UNLV. We have some folks from the Great Basin Institute. We have folks from the National Park Service are actually here as well. And then we also have, of course, Fish and Wildlife Service staff.
The students and other volunteers are part of a community with the common goal of protecting Nevada's wildlands.
So it's the end of the day, everybody's eating, the campfire's going, and boy, being out here with these students, you can really feel the momentum of good things happening out on these trails.
After a peaceful night in the desert, it's time for the work to begin.
All right, welcome everybody. As you can see around this area here, a person within a day of having some fun kind of destroyed this pretty pristine valley with a little bit of education, and you guys spreading the word of what you saw here and what you worked on would really be beneficial to our mission of preventing these irresponsible uses of OHV or ATV machines.
This desert can take hundreds of years to restore soil and vegetation that's been damaged by off-road vehicles.
We really want to disguise it so that people that are just casually driving up this road don't see this area and think it's some sort of track or some place to have fun. So we're going to take these tools called McLeods and we're going to rake out these tracks so it makes it nice and flat.
McLeods have been used in trail restoration and wildfire suppression since the early 1900s.
Obviously, you can see these tire tracks from some careless, reckless recreational vehicles that people have used to destroy this soil. And in the desert, it's so fragile, this is really a big deal. But take a look at this. This Joshua tree was in their way, so they just chopped it down. This tree should be 300 years old today.
We're just going to want to make this area kind of nice and flat. We wanted to disguise it so it doesn't look like there was tracks around here, right?
Under Jose's leadership, volunteers work to minimize the damage left behind in this area.
So you're putting the troops to work. How do you wrap your head around this and itemize everything that needs to be done?
It's kind of a matter of priority. We're going to put in some dead plants in. It's called vertical mulching. And then we're going to move on to other parts of this area and disguise those areas, particularly where they leave the main road, so that future users may not think it's a road.
You know, it'd be real easy to look at this landscape and say, Jose, you're in the middle of nowhere. I mean, what does this matter?
Yeah, you know, that's a misconception, but the Mojave Desert is such a beautiful landscape. It's very biodiverse. I mean, when you think about an animal or a plant that thrives in an area that only gets about 2 to 3 inches of water a year, it's a special place.
And how long will it take to repair everything that's been done here? And how long did it take to damage it?
You know, to damage it, I would guess maybe a day. I mean, 6, 7, 8 hours. For us to truly do everything, it would take multiple days.
After we do our part, Mother Nature will continue to heal.
So nature will recover. You know, it'll rain, the wind will come in, plants will grow, but this way we're giving Mother Nature a helping hand, and first and foremost, stopping any future incursions and future damage to this area.
You and your troops can't do it alone. It's going to take everybody to pull together and say, you know what, we're not going to do that. We're going to go where we ought to go.
Absolutely. We got to remember these public lands are all of ours, so we have to respect them as if they are our own personal backyards.
Give me a shovel. I want to pitch in.
All right.
The sense of desolation found here is deceiving. The Mojave is actually filled with life.
It's a big Mojave, but every little step counts and you got to start somewhere. That was a fire pit. Not anymore.
It feels good to know we're changing the negative impact into a positive one.
Cosmetically, what's happened here in an hour is stunning. Tell me exactly what they did.
First of all, we raked out all the tracks. As you can see, it's really flat here. And then we put in some vertical mulch to make it blend in as if it were the untouched portions of it.
But if they came back, they might look at this and go, oh, wait a minute, somebody put a lot of work into this.
Yes, exactly. And maybe at that point, maybe it's a learning moment. Maybe we shouldn't have done that because someone's taken the time to come out and try to fix what we did.
By the way, I got you some trash.
Oh, thank you.
By the end of the restoration, it's hard to tell that humans were ever here. And that's the best way to experience the Pahranagat Wildlife Refuge.
For me, the desert is a magical place. And so when we pulled up and I saw the destruction that had happened, I couldn't help but really get angry. But luckily, I was surrounded by a bunch of people who were focused on the answer. So I looked in their faces and picked up a shovel and became part of the solution.
Lake Tahoe is the most magnificent natural setting in western Nevada, and the view from 8,000 feet is spectacular, but don't take your eyes off the road.
Lake Tahoe, Nevada side. Today we're at the Tunnel Creek Station for a great cup of coffee and one of my favorite activities, mountain biking. Come on.
Along for the ride are Ben and Kat, two veteran riders of the Marlette Flume bike trail.
Ben, Kat.
Hi.
Good seeing you.
Nice to see you too.
How are you today?
Oh, nice to see you.
Nice seeing you. It's a beautiful day, huh?
Perfect day for it.
Now, you guys have ridden the trail before?
Yes, we have.
Okay, I haven't.
Okay.
So, am I in trouble or am I in for a great time?
You are in for a great time after a ton of work because you got to get up to the Flume Trail before you can ride the Flume Trail, and that's a lot of work, but once you get there, the reward is like totally worth it.
You got me excited, man, and I'm not afraid of work, so let's get going.
Let's do it.
The trail has been in existence since 1870, when flumes, or wooden channels, were built here to funnel water from Marlette Lake down to Virginia City.
Here you go. I'm turning back now. Tahoe.
In 1983, renowned mountain biker Max Jones saw the abandoned trail on a map and went exploring.
This is Max Jones. He's actually the father, or at least the steward of this trail. Nice seeing you.
All right, yeah, you too.
Let's go take a look at this place. Why are you known as the guy that's sort of the steward of this trail, the grandfather of this trail?
I was the one that kind of stumbled across, an old flume line from way back in the Comstock days. Clear some old aluminum pipe and stuff off of this thing.
And it worked.
Yeah, kind of beyond what I ever thought it would. It was one summer of, a bunch of aluminum pipe was laid over after the original flume, the wood flume from way back in the Comstock days, was bulldozed off the edge, and then it kind of fell into disrepair. So I spent a summer moving all that stuff out of the way and thinking, wow, this is first time across this, like, this could be kind of cool,
That's an understatement.
Yeah, it is.
The trail was created during Nevada's Comstock Silver Rush in the mid-1800s.
How far down are we?
It's 1,600 feet down to Tahoe right here.
No
vertical
kidding.
feet.
And that's where Tahoe starts, and actually Tahoe goes that much further down.
Right, yeah, I never actually put that together, but you're right. It is about 1,600 feet deep at its deepest, which is right out there.
The bike trail has a moderate level of difficulty, and the challenge is what attracts so many visitors.
It's amazing how many people, come to ride it and look at it. It's kind of like one of the best views of Tahoe you could ever have.
And really, it's a lesson that I think a lot of people don't know this is here, or maybe they don't make the effort to get out further enough. But if they do, this is what's waiting on them.
Right, and as you found out earlier, it's a good climb up to here.
Yeah, you
so
gotta earn it.
You gotta earn it.
The bike route spans 4.5 miles overlooking the eastern shore of Lake Tahoe. It's rated one of the top bike destinations in North America, and nearly 50,000 bikers ride the trail every year.
I get the sense that you have this experience, you have it a lot, it's awesome, but it must be kind of cool to meet people on the path that this is their first time out.
Oh yeah, or take people, like, ask if they've ever been here, and it's like, oh, you gotta go. Because yeah, I've done it, a few hundred times, but it's still so cool, you know, and I really love being up here. And it's so neat to kind of see it through somebody else's eyes.
Max not only built the trail, but he's also ridden it about 600 times and still counting.
Thank you on behalf of everybody that likes to get out and do something different, get off the beaten path. You really established a place for them to do that, and so I want to thank you for that.
All right, you're welcome. I love seeing people get outside. That's where I've spent my life, so it's pretty cool.
Nevada, of course, is a state that just keeps on giving, and if you're willing to get outdoors and get off the beaten path, it will reward you. And if this doesn't prove that, I don't know what does.
Better late than never. We did it.
That was an awesome ride. I just learned you want a good bike, good friends, and good scenery. We got all three on this one.